gang, welcome to issue 3.3 of PlayStation Underground. A lot's been going on in the gaming world since last issue, so without any further ado... I said, without any further ado...
Sorry. Dude, quit playing GT2 and cue the monitor.
First, we were off to Rhode Island, where one lucky gamer won the PlayStation truck for his school for the day. Needless to say, it bumped him up a few notches in the popularity scale. After that, we hit the track with the gang from Polyphony Digital to burn some rubber and see what's under the hood of Gran Turismo 2. It's just like the real thing.
Especially for anyone who's seen you drive. Sorry.
Now, since we teased you with a quick look at my favorite game, Jammer Lammy, last issue, we thought we'd pony up the rest of the story so you can really see what makes Lammy rock. And we want to keep you all in the know about anything new regarding the next generation of PlayStation, so be sure to stop in at Tech Q&A and see what's up. I know what you're all thinking, that's cool, but what's in the vault? Glad you asked. CD2 is pushing maximum density with game demos like NFL Blitz 2000, Omega Boost, and Tiny Tank. And of course, we've got enough new downloads, alphas, and hidden codes to keep everyone happy. So keep on gaming, and I'll see you next issue.
Okay, Maggie, we're clear. Nice outfit. Hey, did you get us any Jammer Lammy t-shirts?
No.
Okay, take two. Hey everyone, it's Cosmo, and welcome to a stream where I'm gonna talk about and show off a PlayStation Underground magazine issue. And I know what you're thinking, this isn't a magazine, and it's not. But not a traditional one, at least. This is actually a CD magazine, so they have a bunch of articles and stuff just like a normal magazine would. But this is pretty much a magazine turned CD, digital, so you can get a look at things like behind the scenes footage of games like Jammer Lammy, Gran Turismo 2, Ape Escape. And you can also see footage of other cool things. You can see you can download some codes for games and everything. But yeah, this is take two because I already streamed this and talked about it, at least half of it. But then I realized I was private. Not only that, but my mic was muted. So yeah, I'm an idiot. Sorry about that. But yeah, I just want to show off everything on this disc, the PlayStation Underground disc, because this is a really neat thing that Sony would do back in the day. This issue is from 1999, I believe. So I'm just gonna show off everything in here, pretty much. Also, there is a second disc, but I won't be talking about that because it just contains demos, and I don't want to play demos. I just want to show off everything on this disc. And my mic might sound a bit different. That's because I'm using a different mic. But yeah, let's just go into it. We're gonna start with Project Wormhole. This is a really neat thing. You'll be able to see what it is in a second.
Come build a mini-game with us in Project Wormhole, a special PlayStation Underground series that explores some basics of game development. In Part 6 of Project Wormhole, we've added the ability to include animated enemies in our world. There are lots of different ways to animate models. Most rely on something called keyframes. It would take too much memory to store information about every possible position the model could be in, so instead we store only a few of the most important frames. To animate a person jumping up and down, for example, there could be keyframes of the person standing, crouching down, at the top of the jump, and landing. In reality, there'll be quite a few more keyframes than that, but there will still be gaps between them that need to be filled for the motion to look smooth. A process called interpolation is used to fill in the gaps. The program looks at the two keyframes before and after the current frame and calculates a position part of the way between the two.
Yeah, basically this is a thing where they would show off how games are made, the entire process, what goes into it, you know, how they segment the different parts of work. And this is really neat because Sony, I always found, was more welcoming when it came to independent developers. Like, with Nintendo, you would always need their seal of approval. Xbox, I don't think they care about independent developers at all. But no, Sony was the console you would come to if you wanted to show off some, if you were an independent developer, maybe a hobbyist, and you wanted to show off, or you wanted to learn how games are made, you thought the process was neat, then you'd have the best shot if you picked up something Sony did. I've talked about this before in the past. They used to have this thing called the Net Yorose, which was basically like a dev kit for hobbyists, where you could buy games. I mean, not buy games, develop games. They would teach you how to develop games, like entire PlayStation 1 games. And I find that cool because, like anyone nowadays, they can just get Unity, figure out how to hammer out a game through YouTube tutorials and everything. But for Sony to offer something like that to, just people who thought games were cool and wanted to do something neat of their own, I think that was really neat of Sony. If I was a kid, or not a kid, just someone who was the age around the time that this stuff was really popping, then I probably would have been really into PlayStation Underground, just the entire PlayStation culture at the time. Because they were welcoming to people who wanted to create rather than just play. But I'm not going to spend too much time on this game. This is just the Project Wormhole game that they were talking about there. Right there, they were showing off animations and stuff. They were talking about keyframes. You know how nowadays they have, like, what's it called? Like, smart animations or something or whatever? Where, animations and actions, like, blend together and it seems seamless. But here, no, they were talking about how they, you have to keyframe it and everything. You have to make it, like, it has to be what it has to be. There's no, like, physics or anything else like that. But yeah, it's cool to see how things were back in the day with the PlayStation 1. And anyways, we're gonna check out what's gonna be in the next issue.
Project Wormhole that gives you more power in level design, and we talk about what makes a good level. Keep your ideas coming on improving our mini game. To see what other people are suggesting, go to www.playstation.com and choose PlayStation Underground online. Post your own ideas there or mail them to us at this address. Wormhole is a team effort, and we're waiting for your thoughts.
It's just a legal disclaimer. We're gonna skip that. But yeah. Next up, I think, is the bulletins. This is a really neat thing where they would have they would show off, like, clothes and stuff. They would have comments from people who picked up the PlayStation Underground CDs, CD magazines. They would do a bunch of neat stuff in the bulletins. Here they're just talking about what you can see if you check out PlayStation Online. And you can see the gamer humor. They're talking about Lara Croft's breast size. Haha. I'm not going to spend too long there. Here you can get some codes for the previous issue of PlayStation Underground. This is issue 3.3, as it says in the title. But yeah, we're not going to spend too long on this either because we can't use any of these. This is the really neat part, the threads and accessories. And you know it's cool because they spell threads with a Z. Yeah, you get to see some really neat PlayStation merch here. A lot of this shit I would buy and wear, like that cap, I'd wear that. That jacket, I'd wear that. I would like to pick up a bunch of this stuff. I tried looking up to see if any of it was still around, but unfortunately, I don't think they're selling any of this merch anymore. And that's a shame, because they have some really neat stuff in here, like that Parappa ski cap. Like, give me that all day. I love that beanie. I have a PlayStation backpack, actually. Not that one specifically, but yeah, I like it. The carrying case. You can get a Cool Brothers 2 tee. Jet Moto 2. You get a Sweet Tooth shirt. There's a bunch of neat stuff in here. I like it a lot. Crash Bandicoot. I really would like to, like, I would pay for a bunch of this stuff. Like, you know how, like this, for example, for instance, like, it's just a, like, if someone sees it, you know, they can point out how it's like a gamer cap, it says Spyro on it. But shit like this, the Gran Turismo cap, I mean, that looks nice. Like, even if you're not a gamer, it just looks nice. This is like, I don't know who this would be for except for gamers, but something like this, like, anyone can rock that. And yeah, you get some items in here that basically just have the PlayStation logo on them. Like, that's a normal bucket hat. It's normal cargo shorts, but whatever, who cares? It's neat. They also sell more than clothes in here, though. We're gonna come up on it in a second. But, oh yeah, look at this. A chain wallet. Remember those? Gotta make sure you keep that wallet on you at all times. That's what the chain is good for. But yeah, they had a bunch of neat stuff in here. I would not wear the tank tops. I don't look good in tank tops at all. But yeah, they would sell shit like this as well. Strategy guides. If you were playing Medieval back in the 90s, then you would probably need this strategy guide, because this game, I don't want to say this game is bullshit, but it does have a lot of, like, you have to, it has a lot to it that you have to experiment with and learn, because the game doesn't straight up tell you everything to do with all the puzzles, with all the enemies. It requires a lot of trial and error, I guess you could say. So having a strategy guide, that would have helped a lot with Medieval. I wish I had this the first time I played through it. Also, Tomb Raider 3, they have a strategy guide for this. I'm not crazy about the Tomb Raider series, I'll be honest. I know a lot of people are. I feel like the recent Tomb Raider games that started with the 2013 release, I feel like all the recent, my voice cracked. I feel like all the recent Tomb Raiders, they really seem to be taking off recently. I hear a lot of people talking about those games a lot now. I was never crazy about the Tomb Raider series, though. I'm gonna be completely honest. I had, what was the one game for the 360? I had Underground, I think it was called. Tomb Raider Underground. I think that's the one Tomb Raider game I got even close to halfway to beating. No, that's not true. I played 2013. I played that all the way through. What am I saying? But yeah, I'm not, I don't know. I think they're neat. I don't think they're anything special. They're alright. Crash 2. I think a lot of people herald this as the best Crash game. My history with Crash, I've played the Crash 1, Crash 2, Crash 3, Crash Warped, or whatever it's called, the fourth one. But and the only one I really played through a lot was Twinsanity, because that's the one I grew up with. I guess I grew up with Crash Bash as well, but Twinsanity was the one I put the most time into. And I didn't really care for that game. As neat as it was, as cool as the music was and everything, that game was also very infuriating at times. So I have a lot of bad memories with that one. But no, the Crash series I think is neat. The first 3 games at least are neat. And I think this is the best one, probably. So it's cool to see Crash in here. Spyro, I wasn't as crazy about Spyro as I was Crash. And I wasn't crazy about Crash either, but yeah, I never grew up with a PlayStation, so I could never play the Spyro games. And even the crossovers that they had on Game Boy and stuff, I never owned, so I don't know. I didn't have a lot of experience with Spyro back in the day. I just never got to know the little guy. But I think he's a cool character. I think he has a cool design. I think the games are neat, but they're just not for me. Except we have Wild Arms, the RPG series. And what to say about this? What did I say? Uh, I don't have the same affinity that a lot of my friends and a lot of the other people I talk to about video games have for RPGs. I feel like the odd one out when it comes to that because I think JRPGs are neat, but man, they don't really do much for me. Um, I did like every once in a while I'll get a JRPG kick though, and I'll want to play through something. I think most recently it was Live Alive or Live Alive, however you say it. I've heard it both ways. Um, yeah, I that's the most recent JRPG that I put a substantial amount of time into and completed. And I did want to go through another JRPG, Blue Dragon, recently because I grew up with that one. I never beat it. I had all 3 discs and everything, but I never beat Blue Dragon, even though I wanted to. So I would like to give, some more JRPGs a chance, but most of them they don't move the dial for me. I don't really care about them. Um I think the last JRPG I played that I really hated was Persona. Persona 1, I mean. Like that game, God, I hate that game. The first time I played through that game, I was so glad it was over with. I don't even know why I forced myself to play it. I guess just because, that was still when I was getting into the series at the time, and, I wanted to see what they always had to offer. Did not enjoy Persona 1, though. Persona 2 I enjoyed a bit more. Haven't really went through Persona 3. I watched someone else play Persona 4. Persona 5 I played a bit. I haven't finished it. But yeah, I guess that's just my take on JRPGs and RPGs and stuff. I don't know. I wouldn't like to give more of them a chance. Like maybe Wild Arms is worth a shot if I could find a guide to go along with it or something, because I don't want to just go into a JRPG blind. The only JRPG I would go into blind is Blue Dragon, but even I wouldn't be going into that blind because I've played that before, parts of it at least. But yeah, I'm rambling. Anyways, JRPGs, whatever. You just get to see some more merch here now. That's a cool shirt. That's a cool one too. Yeah, this Jammer Lammy, this shit right here. It all day, man. I would love that. I wish I had that. I wish I could buy it. I'm gonna look it up actually and see if it's for sale anywhere. I highly doubt anyone is selling it. Yeah, there's like a bunch of fan merch and stuff, but nothing, like I can't find this exact thing, and I'm not gonna bother looking any deeper for it, so whatever. I'm a Jammer Lemmy. It's a cool game. Play it. Play Parappa as well. And that's the shirt the chick at the beginning was wearing. Yeah, just a bunch of neat stuff, I gotta believe. Parappa and Sunny. GT2. I hate that watch. That watch is so ugly. Here you could see some comments and praises and complaints and concerns from fans who own the PlayStation Underground CD. I'm not going to bother reading all of these. It's not really important. But if you want to check it out, you can pause it, I guess. They're talking about, like, what if I moved and I can't get my CD anymore? They're just helping them out with stuff like that. And this is advertising stuff that's going to be in the next issue. Tomb Raider. Like I said, I don't really care for Tomb Raider. Tomba 2, though. Tomba games are cool. Dino Crisis is cool. Everyone loves Dino Crisis. Grandia. Don't have much to say about this one. Spyro 2. Yeah. CTR. That's neat. Yeah, this is more about the Project Wormhole thing that we saw earlier. And I'm not going to bother with the credits and stuff because it's just a bunch of names and words that no one cares about. I always like giving credit where it's due, but whatever. Now let's check out the behind the scenes footage of Jammer Lammy. We're gonna see Masaya Matsura.
Masaya Matsura, musician, composer, star maker. It's been 2 years since the debut of Matsura-san's star protege, Parappa the Rapper. You couldn't leave the house without seeing his smiling face plastered across cities everywhere. Well, Matsura-san is about to do it again. Switching gears from the rap genre, he's producing a hot new sensation by the name of Lammy, starring in Jammer Lammy, and she's definitely gonna rock. With that kind of success, we have to ask, can lightning strike twice?
But I'm not getting close, I'm just running around.
Now gamers and rocker wannabes alike will have the opportunity to test their licks to everything from pop rock to heavy metal. On a recent trip to Japan, Matsura-san and his crew found a moment in their hectic schedule to sit down and discuss their newest find and how using her musical talents, she can give you a glimpse into the world of rock and roll.
I didn't want to create Parappa the Rapper too. I wanted players to enjoy other kinds of music. And Lammy has other differences. In Parappa the Rapper, the teacher raps and then the player raps. Many players end up just imitating the teacher exactly. With Jammer Lammy, the teacher sings and the player plays guitar. That subtle difference gives players more freedom to experiment, let loose, and make great music. Another new feature is that you can play in cooperative mode with the CPU, or in a competition mode against another person.
A lot of gamers wonder where the quirky sense of humor comes from that's behind these two games.
People think we must be on drugs. We don't take drugs. But there's so much pressure, I don't sleep for a week, and I get very spacey. Deadlines help us too. I face so many that my body is tuned to come up with something. Panic is my inspiration.
It also helps that Matsura-san has never made a traditional video game. He's not set in his ways like other developers might be. So his staff has more freedom to give him ideas they really believe in.
Hey! It's the performer on stage!
There's a new rock star in town, and this is one lamb that definitely knows her chops.
I like Jammer Lammy a lot. I think I like it more than the first Parappa. Do I rank it above Parappa 2 as well? Maybe. I should replay Jammer Lammy sometime. I think I don't know. Parappa 2 has its own positives. Check out GT2.
I've always loved cars. As a child, I dreamed of being a race car driver. But that's even less likely in Japan than it is in North America or Europe. I created Gran Turismo because I always wanted to work with cars. I didn't expect the game to sell as well as it did. It has a real driving feel and graphics very close to reality. Those things didn't really exist in the racing genre until then. I made the first Gran Turismo for Japan with mostly Japanese cars. I'm making Gran Turismo 2 for the world. We're going to have about 400 cars on 20 tracks. We brought some of the cars here to test them and capture photos and sound. My goal is that each user everywhere can actually drive the car that you own or want to buy, or just admire and will never be able to purchase. I want the owner of a car to feel that driving the car in the game is exactly like driving the car on the road.
I create the car from start to finish. Today I took photographs from all angles to record details like tires, headlights, and hazard lights, so I can reproduce these cars exactly. I get the plans, performance data, and all the color samples from the manufacturer and apply them to the model. It takes about a week to make a car for the game. If there are problems, it could take a month.
In GT1, I didn't want cars to spin when they collided so that you could keep playing the game. But gamers told me they want damage. GT2 will have an option for car damage. If you choose it and your car is hit, it will spin or become tougher to handle. But the damage will just affect how the car handles, not how it looks. One very important change is that we are going to have dirt tracks. The cars will be able to skid around. Also, there will be some drag strips. And Laguna Seca will be one of the tracks.
Our job is course design. We draw the course line, model it, then apply textures and landscapes. It's very valuable for us to come to Laguna Seca.
We knew from pictures how the turns here would bank, but now we can walk and drive them so we can put their exact feel in the game. Gran Turismo 2, unlike other racing games, it's not important to just go fast. Sometimes speed is not as much a factor as skill. Slowing down can be the most important thing.
I have a driving school, and Yamauchi-san was one of my students. I didn't know he was the producer of Gran Turismo. The things he was learning in my school, he put into the game's driving license test. How to accelerate, how to brake, how to turn the corner. If you want to enjoy Gran Turismo 2 the most, do not think of it as a video game. Drive as if you're in a real car. Drive at the highest level possible for you, and the game will teach you and raise you to a new level of enjoyment.
Laguna Seca has a famous corner called the Corkscrew. I've known about it ever since I was a kid, but growing up in Japan, I never thought I'd see it with my own eyes. The day before yesterday, I drove around it and the whole course in a Viper. I thought to myself, this is my dream come true.
That was really neat. I hmm, I'm not crazy about the Gran Turismo games. I know they're super popular, like some of the best-selling PlayStation games, but yeah, I'm not crazy about Gran Turismo, this series itself. But other shit like Daytona USA, the Ridge Racer series, Sega Rally. Yeah, man, I'm down with racing games a lot. Even the funny stuff like Trackmania or whatever else. I enjoy watching people play those. I'm not great at them, but they are a bunch of fun racing games. I think just racing in general, trying to do something as fast as possible is fun. That's why I like watching speedruns as well. But yeah, we're not gonna spend too much time on that. Gran Turismo 2 though, if you like the series, then that must have been really cool to see. I thought it was cool to see.
Monkeys are on the loose. They found a way to get smarter, go back in time, and change the past to rule the future. Over 200 have fanned out across time, and it's up to you to stop them from taking over. This is Ape Escape, the first game to take full advantage of the DualShock analog controller. It's an innovative new experience, and we're taking you to meet the people behind it.
Just as we had begun the development of the design and concept for this game, we were invited to attend a development meeting for the DualShock analog controller. We were excited to see, right there on the table, prototypes with 2 analog sticks. There weren't any games that existed at the time that used both sticks, and we were so intrigued by the new opportunities. I began to think about all the fun and unique ways we could take advantage of both analog sticks. One stick could maneuver your character around a fully 3D environment, and the other is used to control the gadgets. The ideas just kept coming. There's the Stun Club and Time Net, Super Hoop, an RC car, and more vehicles too. So we picked gadgets that would take advantage of and resemble the motion of the analog sticks. For example, with the slingshot, you're required to pull back on the stick and release it, emulating the controls of a real slingshot. And we think everyone will find at least one favorite gadget.
I like the Sky Flyer the best. I can fly around. When you are really good, you can do the 2-step jump, and at the height of the 2-step jump, you can start, activating the Sky Flyer. But if you're not so good, you can just stand and start activating that Sky Flyer, and you can get much higher, you would think.
But that's not all that's unique about the analog sticks. Most people don't know that you can push the stick down like a button, too. Push it down and you can sneak up on the monkeys to catch them. I also like the way the remote control car operates with the 2 sticks. It turned out to be even more enjoyable than we expected. What I find most fun is that there are more than 200 apes in the game. We gave them different personalities and a lot of subtle humor. Something fun for everyone, I hope.
That was some really cool art.
Another cool feature is the added bonus levels, like the skiing game, the ape boxing, or the Monkey Galaxy. We think you'll love them.
We started developing this game like 2.5 years ago. Coming up with the controls with the 2 sticks was the biggest challenge. We did a lot of testing, and we are surprised how we kept the original concept of the game we had at the outset, and I think it paid off.
Ape Escape. I know people love that series, and I think it's cool too. but I never really played through them except for this one, the first one on PlayStation. Because you know I've said it a million times, I never owned PlayStation consoles growing up, so yeah, I would love to play through the other games, but I do enjoy the Ape Escape. I enjoy this game a lot, and I'm pretty sure I would enjoy the others as well. But that's it for the behind the scenes videos. What do we have next? Oh, the event center. This stuff is neat. It's more footage, but of some cool stuff, not just the games. Things that are, you know, just people who are into PlayStation like. The first one is X Games.
If this is what you do for work, what do you do for fun?
Pro Borders, because I'm in it.
Duke Nukem 3? I just finished that game, Metal Gear Solid. Played that way too much.
My guy.
That's probably one of the best games I've ever played on.
Hell yeah.
I like Siphon Filter.
My guy.
Pro Borders 3, no one can touch me. Yeah, I like that game. Creeping around, you know, it's fun.
The life of an X Games Pro isn't easy. You have fans chasing you. Lots of flights to catch. New tricks to master. So after work, how do you blow off steam?
Lately I've been playing a lot. The Tony Hawk Pro Skater game. It's a really fun game. It gives you a rush. Yeah, I mean, when you land something, it's like, whoa!
Even at the top, if you're a living legend like Tony Hawk, it's not always easy.
I've only broken one bone. I broke my elbow last year after 20 years. I've been knocked out a couple times.
The pressure's on to be first with new moves.
Probably I'm best known for like 720, which is a double spin, and then different variations of the 540, like burial 540, sailfish, just, you know, stuff like that. A lot of spinning maneuvers.
How do you keep learning to do what no human being's ever done before?
You just kind of go and see if you can get the right spinning motion down, and you know, you can fall safely out of most situations. And so you just keep going until you have the confidence to just throw one down.
After 20 years, what keeps Tony Hawk going?
You know, like I said, I'm just happy that I'm still getting to do it. I've just always loved the progression, and knowing that there's new stuff to learn, that's what keeps me going.
With all the pressure, how do you take a break?
Played Gran Turismo and Oddworld and Cool Borders, and my son loves Spyro. What's my favorite? By far the skate game. I mean, even if it weren't my signature game, it'd be my favorite game.
Skateboarding and PlayStation. That's all you need in life.
PlayStation and the X Games. It's how some people who are paid to have fun after work.
PlayStation rips, man.
Okay. I want to say something that might be controversial, but I hate the Pro Skater games. I don't hate them, but I think, you know, they're whatever. Like, I love Underground, but that's mostly because it has a story. Pro Skater, I don't know. I don't find it fun just running around collecting skate and stuff, trying to get a high score. They're neat games, but I don't know. I hear a lot of people big them up, and I'm not crazy about them. I had a Pro Skater, was it 4 or 3 on Game Boy Advance? I think that's the most fun I've had with the Pro Skater series, and it wasn't even one of the console games. But yeah, let's look at the PlayStation truck.
You're in the 8th grade, one of hundreds of kids. Hardly anyone knows your name. Then one night a phone call comes in. Was it real, or was it a dream?
I was playing Final Fantasy VII, and then I get that call, and I told it too. I didn't believe me. I thought it was a friend telling a prank or something, because I told him I joined this and what I could win.
It's an official from Fox TV. She says that out of over 100,000 entries, you won the grand prize. Lots of cool PlayStation stuff for your home, and something very special that would visit your school. The PlayStation Touring Attraction. 18 wheels of video game excitement. All your classmates could try the latest PlayStation games thanks to you.
I called some of my friends and told them. They didn't believe me. I had to have my mom tell them.
It was a Tuesday night. I was upstairs. Jason was doing his own thing, and he got the call, and he couldn't believe it. Yep, he thought it was a prank.
Then they still didn't believe me. I brought in some of the stuff to show them. They still didn't believe me. I said, you can go out and buy that. When I got my stuff on the box, they had a little writing, congratulations. I brought that in. They said you could have scanned that on the computer.
But even your most skeptical friends back off when your school principal gets a call from contest executives.
Someone called from Sony indicating that we had a national winner, and that was the first I heard of it. And you know, it was Jason Marrera that won the national contest.
The big day finally unfolds in your school parking lot. Your classmates can hardly stay in their seats. You go on local TV.
A PlayStation, 25 games for it.
You get more prizes.
Got to MLB 2000. It's another.
Then it's on to the truck. You're in 8th grade, one of hundreds of kids. Now almost everyone knows your name. What will you remember 3 years from now?
Everything. I'll remember everything.
This is really cool. I would have loved to have the PlayStation truck come to my school as a child. I think anyone would have. I don't have anything else to say about it though. That was really neat to see. I don't think they don't do stuff like that anymore, do they? Well, I don't know. I don't go to schools and see what I don't see what PlayStation does in schools. But no, we used to have other stuff come to our school, like you know, the Scholastic bus and stuff. I think maybe one time we had like a Nintendo bus or something. I'll have to ask Wimbledon about that. He would know. But yeah, that was just neat. Neat to see. I would have loved it as a child. I think we're coming up on the end here. Here we have the download station. No, there's something else after this. What just happened? That was weird. Here you can download codes for Evil Zone, Blast Radius, Soul of the Samurai, and Bugs Bunny Lost in Time. I'm not gonna bother doing any of that because I'm not gonna play any of these games. But Evil Zone is a cool game, by the way. You can get some cool codes and whatnot for all this stuff. I've never played Blast Radius, so I don't know what this is about. Soul of the Samurai. I've never played this. That reminds me, wasn't there like a cowboy samurai game on the PlayStation? I've been meaning to play that, but never got around to it. What's it called? That cowboy samurai game? Cowboy samurai PS1 game. Rising Zan, the Samurai Gunman, that's it. Yeah, this game looks cool. I wanna check it out. I have yet to play it. I'd love to though. Here they have Bugs Bunny Lost in Time. Never played this either. But, you know, you can get some codes for all these games if you really want them. Here, I think this is... I'm trying to remember. I think there's someone famous in this.
How are game developers reacting to the next generation of PlayStation? As a PlayStation Underground subscriber, you get inside access.
All we're
we're seeing here today is the tip of the iceberg.
You're going to see a much more detailed modeling, much more detailed worlds.
A prediction for Road Rash could possibly, on the next generation PlayStation, we would go from 300 polygons for bike and rider combination to somewhere from 2,000 to 3,000 faces.
The fact that you can actually render something like Toy Story on the PlayStation in real time is just, awesome.
And it's really exciting to see a home platform that's going to have even surpass the power of some of the high-end military machines that we've worked with in the past.
I think it's absolutely incredible that we've got a supercomputer in a game machine.
The poly counts, the sound, the texture memory, we can bring everything together into a really cool, compelling storyline.
It'd be really cool if you would walk through a hallway and the lights would actually be carried with you like a torch, for instance.
What you're going to see is a little more randomness and the ability to control the character.
Because the game is all about hiding in the shadows so the guards can't see you. But if the guards had a torch with them, it would completely change the way you play the game.
You'll be able to get bodies swinging around and you'll have more control. You'll be actually able to screw up a little easier, which is nice for a gamer.
We want to take you out into huge, vast regions of space with giant cruise ships and planets and space stations where you're a little tiny dot and the space station's miles and miles long.
For a driving game, for example, crashing into a wall, not only will you damage your car, but you'll damage the wall, and maybe repeated crashing into a wall will even knock it down.
We want to do things that nobody's ever seen before.
In a way, you will be able to see characters talk to each other, react. There will be like when you impact somebody up, you will see his reaction, his facial reaction.
You'll be able to interact with characters that feel like living entities with facial expressions and emotional reactions.
It's all going to behave like real life, and nobody will have had to sit down for hours and animate it.
I can't think of anything right off that we won't be able to do on the next generation PlayStation.
The roof is off.
Okay. That was very, more than I was expecting.
Jet Moto 3 is coming. What's in it that's new? You won't have time to ask. Either you splat like a fly on a windshield, or scream faster than ever through some of the coolest places on Earth and beyond. We got the game's producer to tip you off in advance on what's new, so when you play, you can totally concentrate on saving your butt.
We wanted to add 3 different things. One is speed. As much speed as possible. 2 was base everything, all the track design off of skill. So you would learn basic skills as you go through the environment and then use those together in combinations of skills later when you get to the hard environment. And the 3rd was we really wanted to take away all the barriers that were in 1 and 2, limiting the player where he can go and where he can't go. And this time, pretty much, if you see it, you can drive on it. We tried to build in shortcuts as much as possible everywhere. Look for them. We also added a few new features. We added stunt mode, which everyone has been dying for. It's a hidden mode, so you're going to have to figure out how to open it. It's pretty much a point-based mode. You have a certain amount of time, and you have to do a certain amount of stunts within that time period and gain enough points in order to progress through 5 different stunt tracks. In order to get the really high-scoring tricks, you got to rotate on all 3 axes. We added a new hop feature, which is part of the skills that I talked about earlier. And
what did that say?
We added horizontal grapples where you can pretty much Tarzan swing using multiple grapples throughout the environment. It's pretty cool. You go through a total of 11 tracks. The last track, Planet X, is extremely hard. The music on Jet Moto 3 is high energy techno with different styles, loosely based on the environment. We have 2 people working on Juno Reactor doing some original tunes, and Chucky B, our internal guy here at 99 Studios.
Nobody knows the game like the producer, and he had this final word to pass along.
Okay, here's a hint for the Lost City level. If you want to get through the top of the observatory, don't turbo over the sundial. Just drive over it and hop at the end. There you go.
Yeah, baby.
989 Studios.
Okay, I think that is it for the disc now. I think that is this issue of PlayStation Unbound. And yeah, cool. So we saw everything it had to offer. I'm not gonna spend too much longer with it. I just wanted to show off some cool stuff, and I already did. I think the coolest thing was this right here, the threads and accessories. They have some really nice clothing in there. But yeah, I'm not gonna bother keeping on the stream for no reason. I just want to show this CD off. Show off all the cool clothing, all the cool features and whatnot. I'm gonna end it right now though. I'm gonna end it on this. Look at that beanie. You want that beanie. I want that beanie.